Hello friends, welcome back to this video on analog communication. So today we are going to practice a lot of questions on amplitude modulation. I have already discussed various topics on amplitude modulation. I hope you all have seen my previous videos. So now I want you to stay tuned with me till the end of this video, because this video is going to be very long, and till the end I am going to discuss a lot of numericals. So now coming to the first question. The first question states a DSB-SC signal is generated using the carrier cos omega ct plus theta and modulating signal xt. Find the envelope of DSB-SC signal. Okay, first of all, you should know what is DSB-SC signal and how the DSB-SC signal is generated. So if I write the modulated signal MT of DSB-SC signal, so it is just the multiplication of the modulating signal, which is xt, and the carrier. Now carrier is cos omega ct plus theta. So this is my modulated signal. Now I need to find out the envelope of this signal. So first of all, I am going to simplify this. So this is cos of A plus B. So I can represent it as cos of A into cos of B. So this is my A and this is my B, minus sine of A, sine of B. So you need to remember these formulas, at least the basic trigonometry formulas. So first of all, I hope you know this formula. The formula of cos of A plus B is cos of A cos of B minus sine of A sine of B. So now further I can expand this and I can write it as xt cos of theta cos of omega ct minus xt sine of theta sine of omega ct. I just expanded it. Now I need to find out the envelope, and the envelope, so if this is my, let's suppose this is A dash and this is B dash. So this is represented as A dash cos omega ct plus B dash sine omega ct. Now it is very easy to find out the envelope. It will be equal to A dash square plus B dash square. So what will be the amplitude? It will be equal to x square t. So here I have less space, cos square theta plus x square t sine square theta. So now what I can do, I can take x square t common. So I have x square t. So cos square theta plus sine square theta. So I know cos square theta plus sine square theta is 1. So this term is going to be 1, and now I have under root x square t, which is represented as mod of xt. So this is the envelope of DSB-SC signal. So I hope now this question is clear. So now coming to the next question, it states a modulated signal is given by. So here we have the modulated signal. So modulated signal is given by st is equal to m1t cos 2 pi fct plus m2t sin 2 pi fct, where m1t and m2t have bandwidth of 10 kilohertz and 15 kilohertz. The bandwidth of the modulated signal in kilohertz. So I need to find out the bandwidth of this signal. The bandwidth of this signal will be equal to twice of maximum bandwidth. So what is the maximum bandwidth? It is 15 kilohertz. So it is 2 into 15 is equal to 30 kilohertz. So I hope this was a very simple question. I hope you got that, how I can find out the answer and how I can find out the bandwidth of the modulated signal. So now coming to the next question, it states a message MT band limited to FM. So the maximum bandwidth of MT is FM. So now it has the power PM. The power of the output signal in the given figure is. So first I need to simplify what is given to me in the figure, and then I'll be finding out the output. So first I am given MT cos omega naught t. It is multiplied with cos omega naught t plus theta. So actually what it is representing, mt cos omega naught t generally represents my modulated signal. So it's the synchronous type of detector where mt cos omega naught t is multiplied with cos omega naught t plus theta. So here I have phase shift. So it is passed through the low pass filter and I'll be getting the output signal. So let's simplify it. So here I have mt cos omega naught t, it is multiplied with cos omega naught t plus theta. Now I have to send this signal to the low pass filter. Now I hope you remember the formula of 2 cos A cos B. So I can actually represent this signal as mt into 2 or into 1 by 2 multiplied with cos omega naught t plus theta multiplied with cos omega naught t. So I hope this is clear why I did it, so that it will make the formula of 2 cos A cos B. So now this is my A and this is my B. What is the formula of 2 cos A cos B? Okay, so let's simplify it. So I have mt upon 2. So 2 cos A cos B represents cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. So now let's replace the value of A and B. So mt upon 2. So what is A? Omega naught t plus theta. What is B? Omega naught t. So A plus B will be omega naught t plus theta plus omega naught t. 2 omega naught t plus theta plus now cos of A minus B. A minus B will be cos of theta only. So now this signal is passed through the low pass filter with the cutoff frequency FM. So this frequency 2 omega naught t is a very high frequency. It's the frequency of the carrier. It will be rejected by the low pass filter. So after the low pass filter I'll be having mt upon 2 cos of theta. So I need to find out the power of the output. So the power of the output is given by the mean square value. So now I need to find out the mean square value. Mean square value can be given as mean square value of mt. I am representing it as m cap t. This is cap upon 4. 2 is square to 4 into cos square theta. So now the mean square value of mt is represented by power, which is represented by Pm. The power of mt is represented by mean square value of mt. So Pm cos square theta upon 4. So now I hope this thing is clear. So now you can take the screenshot of this question. So now we'll be talking about the next question. Okay, so now coming to the next question. The next question states, what is the maximum power efficiency of an AM modulator? So now how I can represent my AM modulated wave? So the modulated wave can be represented as AC cos omega ct. It is multiplied with 1 plus mu times of xt. So this equation represents my amplitude modulated signal. So now here if I need to find out the power of the amplitude modulated signal, so the power after modulation is given by the power of this signal. So it is equal to AC square, the mean square value of cos square omega ct, 1 plus mu square and the mean square value of x square t. So now I can represent mean square value of x square t as px. Now I know the mean square value of cos square omega ct, it is 1 by 2. So now it will be maximum. I need to find out the maximum power. So at the maximum power, let the modulation index is always less than equal to 1. So I am taking the modulation index to be 1 and the power also to be 1. So let's replace in this equation. So here I'll be having AC square into 1 by 2 1 plus 1, which is AC square into 1 by 2 into 2, which is equal to AC square. Now before modulation I have the carrier wave, and the carrier wave is represented by AC cos omega c t. Now its power will be AC square into mean square value of cos square omega c t, which is 1 by 2. So it is AC square upon 2. So we need to find out the maximum power efficiency. Efficiency is given by AC square upon 2, which is power before modulation, and the power after modulation is AC square into 100. So I need to find out it in the percentage. So it will be 100 upon 2, which is 50%. So this was a really simple question. So now coming to the next question, it states for an amplitude modulated signal with carrier power 500 watt and the modulation index 0.75, the total power is. So I know the formula of the total power. Total power is equal to carrier power 1 plus m square upon 2. So this is the formula. I know the carrier power. So the carrier power is 500, m is 0.75. So it is really simple. So you will find out it, and you can verify the answer. The answer will be 640.5 watt. Now coming to the next question, it states obtain V3T in the given figure. So the figure is, here I have V1T, it is passed to the non-linear device, then it is passed to the band pass filter, and here I will be getting V3T. This is my V2T. So now in the given figure, if V1T I have given the value of V1T, I know the value of V1T, which is 10 cos 2000 pi t plus 4 sin 200 pi t. Assume V2T is equal to, so this is the non-linear equation. By this non-linear device, which is V1T plus 0.1 V1 square t, and band pass filter has unity gain with pass band from 800 to 1200 Hertz. So now I need to find out V3. So first of all, I will be passing V1T through this non-linear device. So first of all, I will be finding out V2T, which is 0.1 into V1T plus 0.1 V1 square t. So now we'll be just putting the value of V1T. So it is equal to 10 cos 2000 pi t plus 4 sin 200 pi t plus 0.1 into, so I'll write it here, 0.1 into, so now I need to square this term, V1 square t. So let's square it. So 10 square is 100 cos square 2000 pi t plus, this is a square plus b square. It will be 16 sin square 200 pi t plus 2ab. So which will be 80 cos 2000 pi t into sin 200 pi t. So now I can simplify V2T. So V2T can be given as 10 cos 2000 pi t plus 4 sin 200 pi t plus, so now I'll multiply with 0.1. So here I have 10 cos square (2000 pi t) plus 1.6 sin square 200 pi t plus 8 cos 2000 pi t sin 200 pi t. So now I need to pass this through the band pass filter. But here I have sine square term, cos square term and cos A sin B term. I know the formula of cos square theta. So cos square theta can be represented as 1 plus cos 2 theta upon 2. Similarly, sin square theta can be represented as 1 minus cos 2 theta upon 2. So let's replace these values. So now tan cos square theta can be represented as 10 upon 2, which is 5, into 1 plus cos square theta, cos 2 theta. So 5 plus 5 cos of 4000 pi t. So now how I represented this? Don't get confused. So 10 cos square 2000 pi t can be represented in the form of 1 plus cos 2 theta upon 2 into 10. So 10 by 2 will be 5. So 5 into 1 will be 5. 5 into cos 2 theta. So theta is 2000 pi t. So 2 theta will be 4000 pi t. So I have 5 plus 5 cos 4000 pi t. So I hope this is clear now. Similarly, I can write this equation. So here I'll be having 0.8 minus 0.8 cos 400 pi t. Now here I have 8 cos 2000 pi t into sin 200 pi t. So I can represent this in the form of sin a plus b minus sin a minus b upon 2. So I can represent as 4 sin of a plus b, which is sin of 2200 pi t minus 4 sin 2000 minus 200 will be 1800 pi t. So now this is the simplified equation of V2T. I just use the trigonometric equations, that is it. So now I need to pass this V2T through the band pass filter, which is having the frequency range from 800 to 1200. So let's see what are the frequency range for different signals. So here, what is the frequency? The frequency, this can be represented as 10 cos 2 pi ft. So what is f? F here is 1000. So the frequency for this signal is 1000. For this signal, it will be 100. So here, so this is a constant. Here we have 2000 frequency. This is again a constant. Here we have 200 frequency. Here we have 1100 frequency, and here we have 900 frequency. So now band pass filter will pass all the frequencies from 8000 to 1200. Will it pass the 1000 frequency? Yes. So V3T will contain 10 cos 2000 pi t. Now this is 100. 100 will be rejected because it is outside the pass band. So this is rejected. Now this is constant, it will be rejected. So it is 2000. 2000 is the higher frequency, it is also rejected. So this is rejected. Now coming to the next frequency, it is 200. 200 is below the lowest level of the band pass filter, it is also rejected. 1100. 1100 will pass. So I'll be having 4 sin 2200 pi t. And now this is 900, it will also pass. Minus 4 sin 1800 pi t. So now this is how I can find out the V3T. So now you can take the screenshot of this screen, and now we'll be talking about the next question. So now coming to the question number 7, it states an AM signal has the output xt is equal to 30 cos 2 pi into 200 t plus 6 cos 2 pi into 180 t plus 6 cos 2 pi into 220 t. Determine the modulation index and efficiency. So first of all, I'll be finding out the modulation index, and for the modulation index I need two things. First is amplitude of the message signal and second is the amplitude of the carrier signal. So now here from this xt I can derive what is the amplitude of the message signal and what is the amplitude of the carrier signal. So now I can represent this xt in the form of, so here I have 6 cos 180t and 6 cos 2 pi into 220t. So this is 180 and this is 220. So 180 can be found out in the terms of 200. So let's suppose this is the carrier signal. So the carrier frequency is 200. So 180 can be represented as 200 minus 20 and 220 can be represented as 200 plus 20. So this is cos of A minus B if my message signal had the frequency 20. So this will be the upper sideband, sorry, this is the upper sideband and this is the lower sideband. So this is 200 minus 20 frequency and this is 200 plus 20 frequency. Now if I have to come back, so this is cos of A minus B, this is cos of A plus B. I can represent cos of A minus B plus cos of A plus B as 2 of cos A into cos of B. So here 30 cos 2 pi into 200t plus, so amplitude was 6 into 2 of cos of A. What is A? A is 200 and what is B? Sorry, this is 200 into 2 pi t into cos 20 into 2 pi t. So now from here you can see that this is my carrier signal and this is my modulated signal. So modulation index can be represented as 12 upon 30. So it is 4 by 5. So I hope this is clear. So now efficiency. So this is the formula of efficiency, m square upon 2 plus m square. So we just need to put the value of m. So here it is 0.8. So 0.8 square upon 2 plus 0.8 square. So it will come out to be approximately equal to 7.407. You can check the answer also. Maybe I am wrong, so answer will be 7.407. So this is my efficiency. So now coming to the next question. The next question states a carrier of 6 kilovolt is amplitude modulated by an audio signal of 4 kilovolt. Find modulation index. So here both of the things are already given. So I have given the amplitude of the carrier, which is 6, and the amplitude of the audio signal, which is message signal. So here 4 kilovolt upon 6 kilovolt. So this is my modulation index. So it is 2 by 3, which is 0.667. Okay, so now this was the really simple question. Coming to the next question, it states a carrier is simultaneously modulated by 2 sine waves with modulation indices 0.3 and 0.4 if the unmodulated carrier power is 10 kilowatt. Find total power. So I know the formula of total power in the case of more than one modulation indices. So it will be equal to PC 1 plus M1 square upon 2 plus M2 square upon 2. So I just need to put the various values. So carrier power is 10 kilowatt, 1 plus 0.3 square upon 2 plus 0.4 square upon 2. This is again a really simple question. So you can find out the answer. The answer is 11.25 kilowatt. So now I hope the question is clear. Now coming to the next question, the RMS antenna current of an AM transmitter increases by 20% over unmodulated value. Find modulation percent. So I know the formula of IRMS. IRMS is given by IC under root 1 plus M square upon 2. So now I have given the increase in value. So if IRMS is 120, then IC is 100. So it is the increase. So IRMS upon IC. So it is 120, it is 100. So IRMS upon IC will be 1.2. Let's square it. So here I'll be having 1 plus m square upon 2. Now I can easily simplify this equation. I just have one variable, that is m. So now you will simplify it and find out m. M will be equal to 94%. So now coming to the next question, it states in a trapezoidal display of AM modulation, the ratio of short to the long side is 0.65. Find the modulation percentage. So if the long side is 1, the short side is 0.65. So this is long side and this is short side. So now modulation index has the simple formula, long minus short size upon 1 plus 0.65. So now this is the simple formula which can be used to find out the modulation index, and in the percentage it will be equal to 21%. So I hope now it is clear how you can find out the modulation index, efficiency and power. So now you can take the screenshot of these questions and we'll move on to the next question. So the next question, the question number 12 states that find the type of modulation and frequency of USB and LSB. USB, I hope you know, it is upper sideband. LSB means the lower sideband. So I have xt 5 sine 2 pi 10 cube t sine 2 pi into 10 raised to power 6t. I need to find if there is any kind of modulation here or not. So here I have a sinusoidal term of low frequency. So here you can see the frequency is 10 raised to power 3 and here the frequency is 10 raised to power 6. So when two sinusoidal signals of two different frequencies, where one frequency is very high and other is low, when these are multiplied, this is a kind of double sideband suppressed carrier type of amplitude modulation. So this is DSB-SC amplitude modulation. I hope there is no doubt, because instead of sine I can take cos also. Both are sinusoidal terms. So this signal just represents the double sideband suppressed carrier. If I have cos, there will be pi by 2 phase difference. That is it. Only the sine and cos has pi by 2 phase difference. This represents the double sideband suppressed carrier in the form of sinusoidal signal. And when I discussed about DSB-SC, that time I discussed it in the form of cos signal. So now I need to find out the frequency of upper sideband and the frequency of lower sideband. So frequency of upper sideband can be found out using addition of the carrier frequency with the message frequency, and in lower sideband it is subtracted. So I hope you remember when I had the message signal. So the carrier signal is at FC. So now here at FC I have the message signal. So from 0 the message is transferred to FC signal. The highest frequency is FC plus FM and the lowest frequency is FC minus FM. This is the upper sideband frequency and this is the lower sideband frequency. I hope you remember now. So now if I represent it, it will be 1001 000 and it is 999 000. So now I hope it is in the form of hertz. So now I hope there is no doubt in this question. So now I am moving to the next question. So here consider an SSB signal when the modulating signal is xt. So the input signal is xt. X cap t is the Hilbert transform of xt. The envelope of SSB signal is. So I need to find out the envelope of this SSB signal, where xt is the input signal and x cap t is the Hilbert transform. So I hope you remember how I used to write the modulated signal in the case of SSB-SC signal, so it was represented using xt cos omega ct plus minus x cap t sin omega ct. So now here again we have the form a cos omega ct plus minus b sin omega ct. Again I need to find out the envelope, so it will be under root a square plus b square. So envelope will be equal to under root. So what is a? A is xt, so it will be x square t plus x cap square t. So this is my envelope. So I hope there is no doubt in this question. So now coming to the next question, it states find the modulation index of MT. So now MT is given by this equation. So I can simplify MT and I can take common 6. So I can write it as 1 plus 5 by 6 sin 100 pi t cos 2 pi into 10 raised to power 5 t. So now one thing, you are clear that this is low frequency, this is high frequency. So now I can compare it to the equation of the amplitude modulation, which was AC 1 plus m of xt cos 2 pi fct. So now if I compare these two equations, m is 5 by 6. So this is again a very simple question. So now coming to the next question, and when I was discussing the single sideband suppressed carriers detection, I already discussed it in the theory part. So the question states find the output of the synchronous detector X SSB. T is multiplied with cos omega ct. It is passed through the low pass filter and I'll get the yt. I need to find out the output yt. So now I have already discussed the synchronous detector in the case of SSB-SC. So this is just the diagram of the synchronous detector. So I know what is the SSB type of amplitude modulation. So X SSB-T is given by xt plus xt multiplied by cos omega ct plus x cap t multiplied by sin omega ct, and here I can have minus also. So plus minus represents the upper sideband and lower sideband respectively. So now what is happening? Xt is multiplied with cos omega ct. So my SSB signal is multiplied with the cos omega ct. So here I'll be multiplying it with cos omega ct. So what I'll be getting? So I'll be getting here xt cos square omega ct plus minus x cap t sin omega ct cos omega ct. Now what is the formula of cos square omega ct? Cos square omega ct can be represented as 1 plus cos 2 omega ct upon 2 plus minus, so x cap t, if I multiply and divide by 2, so it is 2 sin a cos a. So 2 sin theta cos theta is equal to sin 2 theta, so sin 2 omega c t. So now it is passed through the low pass filter. When it is passed through the low pass filter, this is a very high frequency. Omega c itself is a very high frequency, then 2 omega c is a very high frequency. It will be rejected by the low pass filter. Similarly, this frequency is rejected by the low pass filter and I am left out with xt upon 2. So this is my output of the synchronous detector. Although I had discussed it in the theory part, again I had discussed it now. So now coming to the next question, it states xt is equal to cos 200 pi t plus 4 cos 4000 pi t and the carrier is cos 2 pi fct, where fc is 1 megahertz. So now this is the AM signal is produced with the help of xt and ct. And now it is passed through the envelope detector and we need to find the condition for the time constant RC for the envelope detector. I know what is my xt, I know what is my ct. So when I discuss the envelope detector, I made a condition that 1 upon Fc is less than Rc is less than equal to 1 upon Fm. So Fc is directly given. So first condition can be easily find out. So 1 upon 1 megahertz. So you can easily find out the first condition. It is less than Rc. It is less than equal to 1 upon Fm. So here, what is the maximum frequency? I'll be taking the maximum frequency of the message signals. This is the smaller frequency. I'll not consider it. I'll be considering the 4000 pi t. So it is 2 pi fmt. So 2 pi fmt is equal to 4000 pi t. So now t is getting cancelled out, pi is getting cancelled out, and 2 is getting cancelled out. So fm is equal to 2000. So now I can put it in this equation. So 1 microsecond is less than equal to Rc is less than equal to 1 upon 2000. So it will be equal to 0.5 millisecond. So now this is the condition on the time constant of the envelope detector. So now again you can take the screenshot and we'll move on to the next questions. So now coming to the question number 17, it states a SRH receiver with intermediate frequency 455 kilohertz is tuned to the station at 1200 kilohertz. Find the image frequency. So now we know the image frequency is given by Fs or the station frequency plus twice into intermediate frequency. So this is my image frequency. So what is the station frequency? It is 1200 plus twice into 455 kilohertz, which is 2110 kilohertz. So now I hope this was a very simple question and this is clear. Now coming to the next question, it states the maximum efficiency for single tone AM signal is. So the maximum efficiency is given by m square upon 1 plus m square, and the maximum efficiency is when the modulation index is 1, because the modulation index has values less than equal to 1. So when the modulation index is equal to 1, I have 1 upon 1 plus 2, which is 1 upon 3, which is 33%. So now I hope this is clear. Now coming to the next question, it states a SRH receiver is to operate in the frequency range 550 to 1650 kilohertz. Intermediate frequency is 450 kilohertz. R is Cmax upon Cmin is required. Capacitance ratio of the local oscillator, and I is the image frequency. Find R and I when the receiver is tuned at 700 kilohertz. So this is the station frequency. So first of all, I'll be finding out I is 700 station frequency plus twice of intermediate frequency, which is twice of 450. So it is 700 plus 900, which is 1600 kilohertz. So this is my image frequency. So now first thing is clear. Now coming to the R. R is given by the capacitance ratio. So Cmax is given by, so it is given by 1650 plus 550 upon 1650 minus 550 square. So when you'll find out this value, because the maximum frequency over which it can operate is 1650 and the minimum frequency is 550. The maximum to minimum capacitance ratio can be found out using the frequencies subtraction and addition square. So when the maximum frequency and the minimum frequencies are added and subtracted, and if I'll get the square, I'll be getting the ratio of the maximum frequency upon the minimum frequency. So it came out to be 4.4, so which means C max is 4.4 times C minimum. I already told you what does it interpret. It interprets that the maximum capacitance is 4.4 times the minimum capacitance. So I have to design a capacitor in which the capacitance change is in this ratio. So if this is a higher ratio, my circuit will become complex. So now coming to the next question, it states this is the circuit diagram. So I have xt is equal to cos 2 pi into 10 raised to power 4t. C1t is cos 2 pi into 10 raised to power 7t. C2t is sin 2 pi into 10 raised to power 7t, and the high pass filter is having the cutoff frequency at 10 megahertz. So now I need to find out yt. So yt is after the envelope detector. So now we'll follow the stepwise function. So now first of all, the xt is multiplied with the c1t with the help of balanced modulator to find out vt. So vt is xt is cos 2 pi into 10 raised to power 4t. It is multiplied with c1t, which is cos 2 pi into 10 raised to power 7t. So now when these two cos are multiplied, I'll be getting half of cos of a plus b plus half of cos of a minus b. So what is cos of a plus b? 2 pi into 10.01 into 10 raised to power 60. So I am representing it in the form of 10 raised to power 60, and if I add 10 raised to power 4 plus 10 raised to power 7, I'll be getting 10.01 into 10 raised to power 60. So because it was passed through the high pass filter, I already rejected the low frequency value because there is no need to have a look at that value because that is rejected at the high pass filter. So now this is my WT. So WT is the output after the high pass filter. Now WT is multiplied with the C2T. So first of all, I'll simplify WT, so I can represent it in the form of 10 raised to power 7. Okay, so now if I represent this into the power 10 raised to power 7, so I can represent it as cos 2 pi into 10 raised to power 7 plus cos, so now this is cos of a plus b. So 2 pi t into 10 raised to power 7 plus 10 raised to power 5t. I just represented this signal as 10 plus 0.1 into 10 raised to power 6t. So 10 into 10 raised to power 6 is 10 raised to power 7, and 0.01 into 10 raised to power 6 is 10 raised to power 4. So now let's suppose this is my delta f and this is my fc, because here also I am using 10 raised to power 7. So I am denoting 10 raised to power 7 at fc. So Wt can be represented as half of cos of a plus b. So it is half of cos of a into cos of b. So a is 2 pi into fct. What is cos of b? Cos of 2 pi into delta f into t minus, so cos of a plus b is cos of a cos of b minus sine of a, so sine 2 pi fct into sine 2 pi delta f t. So now what I can do? So this is my representation in the terms of cos 2 pi fct, and this is my representation in the terms of sin 2 pi fct. Actually I was using the envelope detector. This is why I represented it in the terms of fct, because I need to find out the envelope. Now sin 2 pi fct is added, so w dash t, so let's suppose this is my w dash t. W dash t will be equal to half of cos 2 pi fct cos 2 pi delta ft minus half of sine 2 pi fct multiplied with sine 2 pi delta f t. It is added with sine of 2 pi fct. So now I can take sine of 2 pi fct common. So here I'll be having half of cos 2 pi delta ft cos 2 pi fct plus half of sine 2 pi fct. So I took sine 2 pi fct common. Here I am left out with minus 1 by 2 sine 2 pi delta ft plus 1. So now I just need to find out the envelope and it will give me the y of t. So y of t is equal to under root. So this is my carrier, this is my carrier. So now amplitude would be 1 by 4 cos square 2 pi delta ft plus 1 by 4 sine square 2 pi delta ft plus minus 1 square. So now I hope you are clear that how I found out y of t. So don't get the panic attack if you are not able to find out y of t, because and I intentionally put a difficult question. So take your time, brainstorm on this question, and if you have a different answer to this question or any question, you can put the doubt in the comment and I'll try to answer as soon as possible. I hope you like this video. It took a lot of time, a lot of efforts to make this video. So I would be really happy if you like the video, subscribe the channel and share it with your friends also. Thank you.